Spring training is underway, and today we're going to make our way too early season predictions about your 2026 St. Louis Cardinals.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, Cardinals fans. I'm JD Hafron, a former national radio sports anchor, born and raised in St. Louis and a lifetime Cardinals fan, and welcome into another episode of Locked On Cardinals, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. Thank you to the everydayers for always being with us. Thank you to the newcomers who have joined us now that spring training is underway. Welcome aboard. This is a show serving Cardinal Nation and giving you all the info about the birds on the bat. Today's show, we got our good friend Thomas Gauvain from RedbirdRants.com here with us to talk a little Cardinal baseball. Thomas, how are you? And first off, how was your Valentine's Day with the family? I don't have children, so I don't know how that affects things, but how did Valentine's Day go with the fam?
No, it was good. We went to an indoor skating rink. My wife and my 4-year-old son, they did really well out there. I just sat on the sideline with my daughter. She's only 2. And then we've started this tradition probably about 6 years ago now. We go to Freddy's for dinner, get some burgers, some ice cream, and just hang out. So nothing fancy, just easy.
Yeah, nothing over the top, which is what people feel like they always got to do on Valentine's Day. That's nice. The ice skating.
Yeah.
I like that. Are you inspired by the Olympics and what's going on with all the skating right now? Is that what brought that on?
Yeah, sure. We'll call it that. I'm awful at skating. Like I'm on the wall the whole time. I'm falling every 5 feet. I'm awful at it. So
I gotcha. Wife and I did hibachi because I wanted to do, I was like,
nice.
Let's do dinner and a show of some sort, but I don't want to, there's no really great movies out right now. So I was like, let's go where they're going to entertain us for a little bit. So we did hibachi, which was a good time. Although I wish, so I stepped it up and got fancy and thought I got lobster and to go with steak because you get to choose 2 proteins. And I was like, I'll do both. I wish I had just gone all steak because the lobster is fine, but dude, steak is so good. So big mistake on my part, but still a lot of fun. Speaking of fun, we plan to have a little fun today with our way too early prediction show. So we thought we'd go through what we know about this team so far. I know, very early in spring training. It's still a lot of questions, a lot of things up in the air about them. But we're going to do some team award predictions. So you know, you got your basic awards shows that you get at the end of the year, right? You got the MVP, Cy Young, Silver Sluggers, Gold Glovers, even Rookies of the Year. Now, we're going to do this, and not that we're selecting that the Cardinals are going to win. These players are going to win these awards for Major League Baseball, but this is for the team. And then if we think they are going to be worthy of doing it as far as the whole league, I'm sure we'll mention that as well. Last year, Burleson won the Silver Slugger in the utility role. Gold Glove winner, we had Masyn Winn at shortstop. But again, what we're going to do here, this is team awards. And then if they deserve more than that, we'll bring that up. So let's start with possible Gold Glovers this year, Thomas. Who you got winning one this season? Masyn Winn got one last year. Who's next in line as the next great Cardinal with the Gold Glove?
Masyn Winn feels like the obvious answer, but I'm really pulling for Victor Scott II just for the team, like team Gold Glove. I think Victor Scott's going to take it to a new level this year. He already had exceptional numbers last year in center field. I could see him going up another notch once again this year and being the best defender on the Cardinals.
Yeah. What is one of the things about Victor, like your favorite things, just observing him as a center fielder himself? Like, what's your favorite thing about watching him play center field?
It's his speed. I mean, the way he can get to a ball, even if he has a late read on it, he can just burn it and get to any ball as long as it's out in the grass. I mean, I feel like last year with Jordan Walker in the corner and then an ailing Lars Nootbaar in the other, you saw Vic getting balls that weren't even in his business to be near, and he's nabbing them.
Yeah. What are your feelings on his little jump catch that he does at the end where he's like, whee! He looks like a deer.
Yeah, okay, so call me an old head. Like, I'm still the 2-hand catch guy. Like, that's still me. I think it's fine. Like, if he wants to have a little bit of fun out there, but the moment he drops the ball doing that, I'm going to be a little bit mad.
Yeah, it's like in Major League. Great catch, Hayes. Don't ever effing do it again.
Yeah, right.
One of those situations, like, it's fine until you drop one, and then we're going to have some problems. But, yeah, Victor, so many years watching, Willie McGee in the 80s, but then, of course, Jim Edmonds during the 2000s. Jim Edmonds didn't have the speed that Victor Scott has. He played very shallow. got really good reads and jumps on the ball, where Victor got a little bit of everything, right? He just his reactions and everything. There's something to be said about him. He's a Gold Glove winner in the minor leagues before, and was a finalist this year as somebody that was up for the award this year. So, Victor Scott makes a whole lot of sense. Masyn Winn, obviously, we're not taking anything away from him. Easy selection to go with him again. I hope he does. I hope he's up for the award. I hope he's for a platinum glove this year. I hope we get the production out of him defensively as we did this past year. Now that the knee's feeling better and everything looks good. Is there anybody who might surprise fans with their capabilities with the leather? I mean, Victor's a guy that, we key in on. Is there anybody else that you're looking forward to seeing with the glove? You're like, you know what? This guy might surprise us a little bit.
Yeah, Thomas and JC. And I think that's more of like the Brendan Donovan, Tommy Edman role, where he can play so many positions well enough. Like, he's not going to be an exceptional defender at shortstop or center if he does out there, but he can be an above average defender across the field. And that's got a lot of value defensively.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just talking about it in yesterday's episode. It was like, if you can find the next Donnie or Tommy Edman in a Thomas or JC, more power to you, man, because flexibility is a huge thing for guys that are going to be on your bench. And you can get these guys to play all three infield positions and can do an outfield stuff for you as well. Talk about JC, doing some center field work in spring training. So, bring it on. I'm also very curious about what we're going to see out of JJ Wetherholt at second base. It's not something in his game that people talk all that much about, but they don't talk badly about it. It's not like they're like, no, he's not a very good defender. No, he's good. It's just, he was a shortstop in college, played a lot of shortstop in the minors so far before starting to dabble at second base and at third base. He did play some second base in college as well. So, I hope everything's great, because I would love to see those two, Winn and JJ up the middle for a very long time in a Cardinals uniform. All right, Silver Slugger winners. Burley got it last year in the utility role. Who do you think might take one this year if everything goes well?
I hope it's Ivan Herrera. I hope he just goes off. I'm talking 140 WRC plus. I'm talking 25 plus home runs. I would love to see Ivan Herrera just have a massive offensive season. A lot of it depends on his health. I don't think being behind the plate will take anything away from his game. But if he can play 135, 140 games, I think he has a legitimate shot. Definitely at being the best hitter on the Cardinals, but also Silver Slugger in the league.
Yeah, certainly a guy that was very dangerous last year. And if there was a real threat in the lineup, it was Ivan last year that people really worried about, which I think took a lot of pressure off of Alec Burleson. And then he kind of snuck up on people. So however Ollie decides to use those two in the lineup, whether it's 3-4, 2-3, whatever it is, that's kind of like your two big dudes that you're absolutely counting on, because they're guys that have already done it. Of course you want to see more from other guys in the lineup, but those are the guys that hey, we saw you do it last year. We're going to expect that and more coming up in 2026. And it's one of those things when you see the Pagoda projections and stuff, and you see how bad the wins are for the Cardinals this year. And I'm like, I don't know how they get that low unless something happens to somebody like Herrera or Alec Burleson. If one of them just slumps massively and really regresses this year or goes down with injury, then I could see something like that happening. But I mean, I feel like those guys at the height of their powers, I feel like they're as solid as you can get, and should be definitely counted on as the big parts of this lineup. I'm also going to throw in Jordan Walker into this situation, because I refuse to quit on it, Thomas. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And I feel like this could be the year that he shocks some people. I feel like this could be it. And I know the comment section's going to go nuts and be like, you're an idiot, JD. Stop it. I'm telling you, he's got skills, and we've seen it before. And he's the guy that I'm really, really pulling for this year. And
then let me frustrate those commenters even more and say my dark horse would be probably Nolan Gorman. If he gets regular time at third or second base, I think he's another big home run guy too. So you and I, we're just here for the fans. That's what we're doing today.
Exactly. Creating conversation is what we do. And I don't know. I just can't quit him. I can't quit Jordan Walker.
No,
and
I agree.
I'm ride or die with him this year. And I'm really, really hoping that I don't have to eat my words. But I don't know. there's too much talent there. He's too good of a kid. He's too smart. And I don't see how he can fail as miserably as he has the last seasons again here in 2026. So those are our thoughts on those particular spots. So let us know in the comments section. Any other guys that you think might be capable of winning a Gold Glove? Who do you think is going to be the best defender on the team? Silver Slugger type of winners. Who do you think will be the best hitters on the team this year? Let us know in the comments section. Coming up, we're going to talk about Cy Young. We're going to talk about MVP. We'll get some thoughts on from Thomas on what we've seen so far in spring training as well. All of that coming up here on Locked On Cardinals. Tax season doesn't have to take over your life. Don't let it. Don't let it. I've done it before. It was stupid. Not smart of me. Instead, do what I do. This year, we're going TurboTax, people, making it easier than ever to just hand things off, move on with your day. Now, with TurboTax Full Service, here's what happens. You can have your taxes done for you by a trusted local expert, start to finish. You don't do hardly anything without the stress or guesswork. Like, you just drop it off instead of spending hours trying to figure out all the different forms. What goes in what box? Am I doing this right? Is the IRS going to come after me because I screwed this whole thing up? Don't do that. Let a local TurboTax expert hook it up for you. You can do it in person. You can connect online. They'll handle everything from W-2s to self-employed forms and work to get you every deduction you deserve. You don't know what you're doing, so don't try it. Upload your documents. Go about your day. Get updates right there on the TurboTax app. It's a huge time saver. It'll give you real peace of mind as well. So for a limited time, got a deal for you. You can have your taxes done by a local TurboTax expert for only $150 all in. If a TurboTax expert didn't do your file last year, just make sure you file by February 28th. So the clock is ticking on this deal. So get in on it before it's over. Take taxes off your plate. Get back to your life. Visit TurboTax.com/local to book your appointment today. Thanks again for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen of the day. Thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. With baseball back, you can lock in by joining our Everydayer Club, which gets you ad-free episodes and access to our group chat on Discord. For the next week or so, we're also giving you a special deal. You can use the code SPRING, SPRING, for a free month. So go to LockedOnSTLCardinals.supercast.com or tap the link in the show notes to learn more. We're joined by Thomas Gauvain from RedbirdRants.com, talking a little prediction for this year. So we did Gold Glovers, we did Silver Sluggers. Let's move on to the pitching staff, Thomas. We're up to Cy Young Awards, and this really depends on, who you see making the rotation this year. I suppose you could go with somebody from, relievers are allowed to win the Cy Young too if you want. But rotation-wise, you've got the group of Dustin May, Matthew Liberatore, Michael McGreevy, Kyle Leahy, Andre Palante, Hunter Dobbins, Richard Fitz. Those are the guys that are expected to handle most of the innings as far as the starter roles go. Who is your pick to be the Cy Young winner for the team in 2026?
This might be the obvious answer, but I would go with Matthew Liberatore. I think I'm expecting a huge year out of him. He's in his second year of being a starter. He knows what it takes now with the workload. He's been working hard all offseason. I also really think the Cardinals are starting to make a push for him to be like the next face of the rotation. We've had Carpenter, we've had Wainwright. I'm not saying Liberatore is those guys, but we've always had that top of the rotation strong leader, and I could see Libby taking that over. He's not projected for anything extraordinary as far as strikeouts or ERA or FIP goes, but I am expecting a little bit more out of him than what the projections are showing so far.
Yeah, and I mentioned this recently as like, if you notice the push that he's been getting on social media from the Cardinals, they've kind of, they're like, hey, let's go to the nest and have Liberatore show us around a little bit. So they want him.
He got the nod. He got the nod for the first spring game too. So like they're really making his name known.
Yeah, they're trying to get his personality out there a little bit, and which is a good thing, in this day and age when social media and getting things available right away. It's very important. And people want to get to know these guys. And back in the day, that wasn't a thing, unless you went to the ballpark and got an autograph. You didn't hear these guys talk all that much. But now they're trying to put them on there and make them personalities as well. If you're going to go with Libby, I'm going to go with give me sneaky Kyle Leahy. Give me sneaky Kyle Leahy in this one. And I'm kind of I'm kind of pushed into this direction by people I've talked to who have been very impressed with what Kyle Leahy brings to the table. As far, he may not even make the rotation right away, but I feel like they are certainly going to give this guy a chance. And I think he takes one of the top 5 spots over a Palante or even maybe a Richard Fitz. We don't know when Dobbins is going to be ready to rock and roll like full time. So I think Leahy gets in there, and I think he impresses. He's going to be I don't want to say dark horse, but he's a guy that I feel like we might be really impressed with when all is said and done at the end of this 2026 season. I also am excited to see what Dustin May can do. Hopefully he can finally have that healthy season that everybody's been waiting on. It's not, the Dodgers and Boston were waiting for it too. And now the Cardinals get a chance to see what he can do. Hopefully no freak accidents, nothing weird. Everything we've heard has been positive about him health-wise so far here in spring training. But we do know we got a couple of weeks to go, and guys are going to start getting sore and things are going to start popping up. So hopefully Dustin's able to avoid that stuff, having the injury history that he's had all this year. But I am excited about him as well. And McGreevy. I'm excited about McGreevy too, just because he's kind of taken on that leadership role. You've seen that too, where they've been pushing Libby, but apparently McGreevy's been one of those guys in the locker room that's really starting to take on a veteran type persona as far as helping younger guys, even though he's only going to be, in his first full year as a pro, or I shouldn't say as a pro, but as a major leaguer. So a lot to be excited about for the Cardinals and their pitching staff. A lot of unknowns, but that's the fun of this season, I think. All right, MVP awards. Thomas, who do you think takes home the team MVP award in 2026?
Masyn Winn. All around great season. His defense, I think, is going to hold, and I would love to see a plus offensive season from him. I'm not talking like 125 OPS plus, but something in the upper hundreds, maybe low teens at that point too. I think that'd be great to see from him. His speed, I think he's going to come back up with it.
Do you see this team being more aggressive base running wise this year than we have in the past, considering their lack of pop in the offense that they have?
I think they'll need to be. I also think this is a year where they can just try whatever they want and see, like, 2-week stretch. We're just going to steal everything. We're going to try. We're going to run the bases. We're going to take the extra base for those 2 weeks to see if it's effective. If not, come back and try something else. The next week, we're just going to throw nothing but fastballs and just get the velocity up. I think I could really see like an experimental year for a lot of players this year. Yeah,
I would love to. It's if you're not going to be, because you don't necessarily have to have a bunch of sluggers and long ball hitters to win in this league. There's other ways to do it, but you got to be a much better contact team. And like you said, you got to be able to stretch things and take the extra base and put the pressure on the defense. And I hope that's what we see, because they're going to have to get creative with the offense this year, because there's not going to be a lot of home runs, and I'm okay with that. I really don't mind. I always go back to what my pop said back in the day. He was like, the biggest rally killer is the 3-run homer, because it clears the bases, and now the pitcher doesn't have to worry about it, and he can throw from the windup. And it kind of ends things, where if you just keep it on a carousel and you're constantly putting pressure on the defense, that's what drives people nuts. And I couldn't agree more with them. And I hope that's something that the Cardinals, philosophy-wise, I hope they're able to jump in on that coming up this year. So my MVP, if you're going to take Masyn Winn, which I love, because I want him to be the face of the franchise and be a superstar, I'm going to go. I want to take JJ Wetherholt so bad. I want to do it so bad, but I'm going to go with Biscuits. Give me Burley.
There you go. He was my second choice. Yeah.
Yeah, because here's my thing about Burley, and it's why I think things will be even better for him this year. He finally has a home, Thomas. He finally has a position. Yep. He can call his own. He's not going to be just, okay, well, maybe right field today, maybe left field, maybe DH, maybe we'll play. He doesn't have to worry about that anymore. Like, first base is yours. They're going to obviously find somebody else who can also play. I know they had Ivan Herrero with a first baseman today.
And playing in the outfield too, so.
Yes, yeah, which is great. Like, I'm all for it. When you got athletes, dude, you can find as many places as you can put these guys. Go for it, because you got catcher depth. But Burley is going to be your first baseman. All right. Probably 130 of the games this year. That's who's going to be the dude over there at the first base bag. And it's, obviously a huge, important position. And I think that mindset wise, I think like you mentioned earlier, Gorman's finally got third base as a home. I think that should help them where they're not worried about anything else, man. You got your spot, you're safe, enjoy it, and worry about hitting the baseball even more. So hopefully it works wonders for Gorman this year. But I like Burley. I like I like his personality because he's very lighthearted, a fun guy, and I think people are gonna really enjoy him this year. And this is gonna be a year where he steps up and makes this more of his team. I think that's something that's going to be needed from him. So there you go. MVPs, Cy Youngs. Who else do you guys think should take over the mantle for the Cardinals this year? Who are going to win those awards for the team? Let us know in the comments section. Coming up next, we're going to ask Thomas about his observations so far at spring training. We'll talk about left field. We're going to talk about the catcher position. We'll talk about any trades. All of that coming up with Thomas Gauvain on Locked On Cardinals. Thanks again for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. Appreciate you for making us the #1 sports podcast network here at Locked On. Thomas Gauvain from RedbirdRants.com with us here again. All right, we've kind of talked about it a little bit, but obviously the real question right now for the Cardinals, where it's kind of an unknown, is what the hell is going to happen in left field? All right, Lars Nootbaar, the plan, Newton left, Victor in center, Jordan in right. That's the plan. Newt coming off the double heel surgery. They're still trying to get him to camp, waiting on a certain treadmill to arrive so that he can continue his rehab, which is fine. It's fine. It's early on. Most people, I think you included, aren't expecting Newt to be ready to go on opening day, which is fine. Again, not a problem. But somebody's got to go and play left field. All right. So the names that have been brought up, Nathan Church has been a guy that Heim has brought up and said, hey, we think there's more there offensively than what you saw from him last year in his brief time with the team. Thomas JC is the name that's been brought up, along with Jose Fermin. And then you've got Nelson Velasquez as another guy with the bat, the power that this team lacks. I don't know what else he can do other than that, but we'll find out, I guess. But in your opinion, Thomas, who do you like in left field to start opening day if Newt's not here?
Nelson Velasquez is an interesting name to keep an eye on. I don't think I'd love that so much. I also think Thomas JC would be interesting in left field too, especially with JJ, Nolan, Masyn Winn on the infield, and then Fermin as a nice utility guy as well. So I think JC would probably be my pick if Nootbaar's not ready. Personally, I'd love to see him out there. Whether it's realistic, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, we know he's an athlete. That he's very good speed, good pie. He's got a little bit of everything. Is he as fast as Tommy Edman? No, he's not. But he is, I think, a better athlete than Brendan Donovan was. Just looking at him. So I feel like he can certainly do that. He's just the right-handed version of him. Now, we haven't seen him do it offensively at the major league level yet. Batting wise, I'm not so worried about the defense. I feel like he's fine. I don't worry about that. I know they were talking about mixing him into center field some. I feel like that's a stretch. Like that ain't gonna be easy. But if you can plug him into left field here and there as the platoon version of what's going on with Newt, I think that could work. I don't have any problems with that. Velasquez, as you mentioned, he's got power. I don't know what else he's really all that good at. I don't know. And we know that he wasn't really with a team much until the end of last year when he got on AAA with like Pittsburgh, tore it up in the Mexican League, Thomas. But what does that mean? I don't know. I don't know how good the competition is down there. So we'll see. Spring training is a chance to see if he does go ham here in spring training, and if he can, then hey, maybe he's somebody that is that bench bat, got a little pop off the bench. Maybe he can do some DHing. We'll see. But obviously it's very early for that. Jose Fermin is another guy that does a little bit of everything, can play some infield. And if they can use him in the outfield as well, having him and JC on the roster, I don't think that's a real problem. Do you see them reaching outside of the organization at this point? Do you think they even go anywhere with I know there was a rumor that they were dabbling in the trade market, but they didn't find anything there. Do you think they pull anybody off the free agent pile?
I'd be surprised. I think it was Gould who had a report recently that they are not really looking at Grichuk, and that's probably the one free agent I'd like the most. I mean, if they're willing to open up the pocketbooks, I think Rhys Hoskins would be a very interesting ad, so long as he's okay only seeing like 350, 400 plate appearances this year. I doubt it. I really don't want them to at this point either. Run with who you've got. Let them get their chances.
Yeah. What about, because I get comments from people about Andrew McCutchen. Would you be willing to go down that road?
I don't know why. I mean, the veteran aspect maybe, but he's just going to be soaking up at bats from players who might otherwise have something to prove. Yeah, as a clubhouse guy, sure, go for it. I don't know. He can't play outfield anymore. He's a DH strictly.
Yeah.
I don't love it, but I get it.
Yeah, I think it's just something that people are like, oh, he was a former MVP, but that was a million years ago, you guys. So I'm not excited about that move either. So I'm not worried. I'm not so worried about it. Yeah, I kind of like the fact they're going in-house and seeing what they got here. I mean, I said it yesterday. Why pay for something if you already own it? Like, why would you go buy another one for name recognition? All right. Speaking of trades, Newton JoJo. There was a report from Jason Stark yesterday, not a report really, but it was kind of like a poll where they were like, who are some names that might get moved? They had Newt on the list there, but did not have JoJo. Your thoughts on any sort of trades? Do you think Chaim Bloom's still willing to wheel and deal at this point?
If something comes up, I wouldn't be surprised to see him pull the trigger. I am surprised that he didn't move JoJo this offseason, especially when we started seeing all those left-handers start going free agency. We saw a couple of trades with lefties as well. I would imagine he's holding on to JoJo at the trade deadline. I don't love that because relievers can be so volatile, and you get the full year of JoJo now. I would be very surprised if Nootbaar is moved. He's at low value right now. I would expect a pretty big season out of him, at least a first half, and then you see what he's like with a year and a half of control on the trade market come July.
Yeah, gotcha. All right, finally wrapping up. JJ Wetherholt is going to be the starting second baseman of this team, we think. We saw him doing the infield practice, and it was Gorman, Winn, JJ, Burley. That was your infield. That's what we all thought it was going to be. Problem is, somebody's got to go on the 40-man, Thomas. All right, somebody got to go because he's not on there yet. Who do you see? Because there's a couple of different spots here. When you go through, like you can make some cuts here. Who would you get rid of if just looking at the 40-man right now to make room for JJ Wetherholt? Who's your first cut? Who you calling into the office and going, have a seat?
Probably one of those 40-man waiver claims we've been doing. Zach Kent or Nick Rickett, maybe Chris Roycroft. The organization seems to like him pretty much. I've heard good things about him as well. George Soriano, potentially. I don't really think that there's a position player they'll be willing to move off of. A lot of pitchers that we could be fine losing at that point, though.
Yeah, those are the ones where you've got organizational depth now, so you can see them cutting one of those guys loose and be okay with it. What is Joel Pozo's role with this team going to be? We've got 5 catchers on the 40-man right now with Bernal, Crooks, Herrera, Pajes, and Joel Pozo. What are we doing with Joel Pozo?
You tell me. I don't. minor league depth with a guy. He lost. Okay, so I found out recently that he's got me blocked on Twitter, which I don't know why. So I'm gonna speak nothing but kind words about
Pozo.
Yeah, so nothing but kind words out of my mouth about Joel Pozo from now on, just so I can get off his no-no list. I would imagine. I don't know. I tried to go back and see. I guess I just critiqued him a little bit too much.
What?
So my pick, actually, MVP. Let's go back a little bit. Joel Pozo for team MVP for me, and Cy Young, and Gold Glove, everything.
Unblock Thomas, Joel. What he really didn't mean whatever he said. Man, you must have been really mean to him. I don't know.
But yeah, realistic. I don't know.
You've seen photos of him. He's dropped a ton of weight. He looks
he looks good.
So, I don't know. He was really good off the bench last year. Can he play a little bit of first base too? Because they're going to need somebody to help out. I don't know. There's a lot of questions there, but he's on one of those deals where he can go both ways, right? So, So there's some flexibility roster wise with Joel. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Man, lot to go through there. I can't believe Joel Pozo has blocked you.
I don't know. I tried to go on his page and like one of his posts. I couldn't. So I was like, oh man, I got blocked.
Wow. Is that the first like pro player that's ever blocked you that you're aware of?
Probably. I don't really scroll their pages too often, but I would imagine. I guess that's when you know you've made it, right? Like when a real name guy blocks you,
he thought enough about you to block you. It was like,
yeah,
I'm enough with this guy's a jerk. Let's get him out of here. All right. Well, we don't think you're a jerk. We love you. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. If you haven't already, give us a follow on X at @LO_Cardinals and JD Sports Radio, TikTok, Instagram at Locked On Cardinals. Like, subscribe on YouTube as we make our push for 14,000 subscribers. Thomas, where can they find you on the social medias and anything you're working on with RedbirdRants.com?
I'm at Thomas Gauvain on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. And
Don't
then
block
just
don't block
no,
him.
don't block me. Good vibes only. And then just whatever I'm putting out Redbird Rants. I don't really have anything too major coming out right now, but I'm trying to keep up with news out of spring training camp. I had one talking about like the defensive alignment and the batting practice orders, just like the first overreactions of spring. That's out there.
Yeah, observations of spring. That's what it's all about, creating conversation. So go check them out at redbirdrants.com. They do great work over there. Once again, if you never miss an episode, that Everydayer Club here at Locked On is built for you. You get ad-free, members-only Discord access, and more. Head to lockedonstlcardinals.supercast.com to join the club, and you've got the code SPRING that you can use for a free month right now. For those of you on video, we'll send you to the first ever 24/7 National Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel. On audio, make sure your second listen is Locked On MLB. Thank you, as always, Thomas, for hopping in, and hopefully we'll get to see you next week.
Good to be back. Take care.
All right, and thank you guys for being a part of Locked On Cardinals. You're the best fans in baseball for a reason. We'll see you next time.